Well, it is another Monday. It is another week of Serie A with obviously some fine topics and results to discuss. Stevie P, what are they going to be hearing about today? Going to be hearing about the Leche game. They're going to be
Anger, pain, Leche game.
anger and pain, the Leche game. We're going to talk about our Fubo TV sponsored the Serie A recap. We're going to talk about some news, some injuries, who's to blame in this one here. We're going to talk about our feelings. But Steve, what do people need to do usually? If we start at 9:05.
Fabio's in the chat. He knows what's going on. You guys have to subscribe. In good times and in bad, ovunque sempre Forza Milan, and support the Milan Weekly Podcast and Coast to Coast, guys, by subscribing. Put that little thumb and ring that bell so that you know when we're going in live. Guys, it's important. Content creators like myself, Vinny, Gio, Fabio, and maybe more continuously put out content, guys, for you guys to enjoy on Mondays during the week. Champions League pre-game shows, guys. We do it because we love Milan. You love Milan, but we need your help, guys. We really need your help. It's time to subscribe. We want to take the channel to the next level. We want to make it a network. We want to make it something bigger, something more. But we need your help, guys. We need subscriptions. We need you guys to subscribe. It's very important. And guys, tune in to the live show. Join us. Send us some chats. Look, I know Nick is in the chat, very frustrated. So are we, Nick. But it makes better content when we're frustrated.
That's right. And on that note, we say nella gioia e nel dolore, and sometimes nel dolore e nel dolore. Forza Milan. And on that note, let's get this show on the road.
Welcome to the Milan Weekly Podcast, the English voice of Milan fans all over the world, with your hosts, Vinny T and Stevie P.
Benvenuti nella casa
Giroud in area, si gira, sinistro, rete, gol capolavoro di Olivier Giroud.
Mignon with another magical save.
Coast to coast del numero 19.
Leao carica il mancino. Eccolo qua, Rafa Leao.
Hey, amici sportivi, welcome to another edition of the Milan Weekly Podcast. Here where we talk everything Milan, anger and pain Milan. I'm taking one from my buddy Steve's playbook. Points, just tossing points away, Milan. Stevie P, Vinny T here, always every single Monday night. Sometimes not, because we have a 2-week break. We need to contain our anger. We need to contain our frustrations. And Steve, I'm going to start off, man. It's hard. It's been fucking hard. I'm trying. I'm the glass half full kind of guy. You're the glass half empty kind of guy. With the therapy sessions, I'm always trying to give me the other side of the medal. It's fucking hard, Steve. It's fucking hard. I'm frustrated. It's the frustration for what happened during the game. And I wanna start off this conversation. We're gonna get straight into it. And I want us to keep in mind, Steve, people talking about the formation. People talking about Pioli. I get it. But it was 2-0, Steve. It was fucking 2-0. So at seeing this starting lineup, I didn't mind. I'm like, okay, why Loftus-Cheek's not starting? I don't get it. He's not being called up in the English the English team. Pobega, I don't get it. Whatever. I'll wait, right? Leao, it happened. But at one point, it was 2-0, Steve. Talk to me about your feelings of seeing this starting lineup the way he was supposed to feel, because there were some things I didn't understand. But in the end, I'm no coach. I'm not a Pioli lover, but I was just going, okay, this is what he wants to do. I still didn't understand. But we were up 2-0 at one point, Steve.
This is not on Pioli. This is not on the players. This is not on management. This is on everybody. And again, I hate going online, and I try not to look at my phone and social media during the game because I just want to watch the game. I shut off my notifications and I watch the game, and I think they started off well. I had no problem with the lineup, guys. These are the guys that play for Milan. They're the team that we love. They're the team that we support. I'm going to say it, in good times and in bad. This is now a bad time for Milan. The PSG win was fantastic. It's probably the best game of soccer that they've played all year, minus the first half in the Napoli game, which I think was extraordinary. But now, it's two league games. It's 2 league games in a row, almost. It's 3 league games in a row, where, the Napoli game. It's a tale of 2 Milans. We have the Napoli game, one half fantastic, second half destruction. We want to blame the players. We want to blame Pioli. Then we have Udine, complete destruction, stupidity, no grinta. No cuore di Milan. No playing for the shirt. There's no other explanation. People want to blame the players, or they want to blame Pioli. Then you have PSG. We're not blaming anybody anymore. And then you have Lecce. First half good. Second half you lose a 2-goal lead away to Lecce, who again, all due respect to Leche, I think they're having a fantastic season. They're doing some great things. You should not be losing 2-goal leads to anybody in this league.
Let alone Leche.
No. Let alone Napoli without their best player and Leche. I'm sorry. So whoever wants to blame Pioli and Pioli out, I'm done with that. Whoever wants to blame the players, which player do you want to choose? Which player do you want to choose for losing a 2-goal lead?
I understand the people of the Pioli out. I understand their frustration. Why didn't we field? We're in a critical situation. Why didn't we field, right, the players that performed the best? Now, why is Loftus-Cheeks not starting? Krunic, stats are stats, Steve, right? I'm not a Krunic hater, but stats have come out. People tweeted out to us, that every single game that Krunic started in the last 5-6 games, we haven't won one. Pobega coming out of nowhere. Reindeers hasn't taken a break. Was Leao supposed to take to me, it's like start your best starting 11. So again, I get their frustration. But guys, it was 2-0 up. We were fucking 2-0 up.
It doesn't work like that anymore. Like, people just don't understand. You're not playing EAFC 24. Notice I did not say FIFA, because it's not called that anymore. Guys, you're not playing a video game anymore. The rotation needs to happen. Guys, Inter rotates. Juve doesn't need to rotate. They play once a week. But
what do you explain the 2 weeks? We're off for 2 weeks. What do you need to rotate, Steve?
You need to give these guys a break. You need to give these guys a break. And look what happens when you don't give them a break. You get injuries. Then you're going to blame Pioli that they played the players too much. So, like, what do the people want? That's what I want to know. This is soccer, guys. This is what happens in soccer. You win and you lose. Sometimes you win like a shit show. Sometimes you lose like a shit show. This was a shit show. It's going to happen. And you know what? We're going to talk about it in the FUBU. We tied. Napoli, hold my beer. Hold my beer. But this is soccer, guys. I don't understand the people and what they want from the players, the managers. Like, just love the sport. Just enjoy the sport. Am I pissed? Absolutely, guys. Absolutely. But if you rotate, people are mad. If you don't rotate, people are mad. They're blaming the players. They're blaming the coach. Guys,
how about this decision? Let's say, why Musa instead of Florenzi? There's another decision.
That is something that I question. This is something that I say, you know what? I don't know what's going on in his head, because that's not the right call. Because you're putting someone who's never played right back, in a position for him to fail. He's never played right back. And you put him on
For
to
what, his
replace
speed?
Calabria. I don't know, but you don't change formation. These things like that, yes, you could go to the coach for that. You could go to A. But what do we know? What do we know? Is Florenzi injured? Could he not play? I don't know. But what frustrates me about that is that if you know these guys can't play, Florenzi can't make it, or whoever you left on the bench who really can't play, God damn it, just try someone from La Primavera at that point. We have a right back somewhere. I'm pretty sure you could change formation and slot someone in, but Musa at right back is unexcusable. That I agree with everybody.
Yeah.
I agree 100% with that. What I don't agree is that it's what have you done for me lately all the time, but to the millisecond because of social media.
You know, I wanted to ask you this because even Shane asked us on Patreon. Hi, gents, hope you're all doing well. As Giroud suspended and Leao may be in doubt, do you think we have enough firepower up front with Okafor, Jovic, and Chucky, or Pulisic to get the job done against Fiorentina? I'm asking because I'm seriously concerned that we don't have sufficient firepower. I can see Fiorentina scoring a goal or two. I don't see us being able to outscore them. Speaking of Giroud, Steve, it might be a 4-game suspension. That's what they were saying. And for me, Steve, I'm sorry, I love the guy, but he's my flop of the match because a guy of that experience should know better. The referee wasn't calling shit all game, right? I don't think it was a blatant handball. It's in the last minutes of the game, and I don't know exactly what he told him. I know that the football guys were apologizing for what they heard in English, but Steve, if Giroud is out 4 games and Leao misses Dortmund, is this
We're in
even?
trouble. We're in trouble. That's why are we sugarcoating it? Giroud is the 40-year-old striker that keeps on scoring. And he has a brain fart, which is going to be at least 2 games. At least 2 games.
Yeah,
if
I
not
think
more.
So
Every time we've seen someone mouth off and really say something to a ref, we're gonna see at least minimum 2 games. The Leao injury, it was bound to happen. It was gonna happen.
Looks like what, 2-3 weeks, Steve?
It's gonna be, if it's a hamstring, it's in those hamstrings. We need the resident physio. Oh my god, we need resident physio on to tell us how long it's going to.
We need Derek.
Derek, that's it. We need Derek on to let
and
us
Youssef. Youssef, he's a doctor. Derek is a
Youssef even
physio.
as well. Let us know what it is to heal the hamstring, but it's one of those nagging injuries.
But it's scary, Steve.
I don't know why he lost it like that. I don't know. Was it frustration? Was it tired? I just think that someone with his experience, especially in a fragile time like this, you see Leao go down. We need you. I have no words to say. It was just the Sunday on a very disappointing Saturday. It was something that I wasn't expecting. I was stuck in between Gianfranco's games, so I had to, I knew a bit of the score, then saw the score after, then rewatched the game. So that's why I think maybe I was a little less angry than I would have normally been. I don't know. I don't think we have enough firepower. And Mass is putting up a good point over here. It's very possible that he's worse than Origi. It's very possible.
But is it scary that, okay, I get losing a 2-point lead to Napoli, getting comments like, we don't know if we had to defend or score another one. Is it alarming that a team doesn't know how to react when even a team like Lecce scores 2-1? Is it something alarming to you?
It's alarming that we're letting in more goals than we usually are accustomed to. That's what's alarming. And I don't know what changed on the defensive side. The midfield, yes, has changed. Not having Benny there seems to be a very big hole to fill. and I don't think there's anyone there to fill it right now. I think Reindeers is good, but defensively, I think he needs to be a little bit more alert, which is not. I was really happy to see him get on the score sheet. I thought it was going to be a real positive Saturday because the guy's been snake bit and actually got on the board. For me, it's the goals that we're conceding, off set pieces, off corners where we can't defend. We had Nico in the chat to kind of explain to us that he noticed that it was almost the same play that PSG scored on in the Champions League, and he's 100% right. It's the marking is just very sloppy in our own zone, and we let teams like Lecce hang around. And when you let teams like Leche hang around, sometimes, not always, but sometimes they're going to come back and they're going to tie games. And this game, actually, guys, whether you like it or not, we should have lost.
So, and yeah, VAR saving us, whatever. It was a foul, but it just you let a team like Lecce build in confidence, right? You let them build, and it's Lecce, guys. I could understand Napoli, but it's just alarming. And like you said, Steve, in the good times and in the bad times. I know there's another question. Look at Gio just telling us, keep up the great work. No, Gio, you keep up the great work. Coast to Coast taking a break this week, Steve. We will be back maybe next week for some sort of special Coast to Coast Azzurri talk. We'll take Monday off. But Steve, before I get into the other question, I want to do the Serie A. We're going to get into that question because we're going to be touching on all the rumors and come si chiama, Steve? La telenovela.
L'architetto non c'è più.
And let's actually, you know what, Steve? For our friends at Milan Post, do you have a top of this game?
It's just unfortunately the result really, really squashed the game. I didn't mind Reindeers in this game, honestly. Yeah. I thought with the goal, I thought things were changing. If I go for, he's my top half of the half. After that, in the second half, I have no tops, right? And I agree with you. The card put the cherry on the sundae, but he's put Milan in a very difficult situation. Giroud with possibly multiple game bans. We need him for Serie A. We're slipping, guys. It's a miracle this week that we're still in fourth.
Okafor up there.
Yeah, I have no problem. I have no problem with that.
Steve, you don't know. Nobody wants to win this Scudetto. It's basically it's a Juve versus Inter Scudetto. Nobody wants to win this Scudetto, and I'm going to go with you on Reindeers flop. The rest of the team, I can't even just pinpoint just one. But let's get into because I know we're going to have some fantastic things to talk about in our next segment. This Serie A recap, Week 12, is brought to you by Fubo TV, your home for all things Serie A in Canada for the EPL. Steve, great features on the app. You could record, let's just say you're working. We can go back and watch some good games from last year, but Fubo TV, check it out. Available on everything. Go to Chromecast, on Fire Stick. It's a great little app. And you can put it in Italian for... I put it up for my dad. I put it up in Italian. He was very, very happy.
Yeah, worked for me this week.
Fantastic.
Recording the games. Fantastic feature.
Salernitanas and Sassuolo, Steve, 2-2. I don't know. I think we keep on talking about the same thing every week. Sassuolo is just not the Sassuolo that we've come to know in the last several years. I know it's not a loss, but I don't know, Steve. What do you think? Sassuolo, are they just going to be in that bottom...
Sassuolo lives in the middle of the pack, middle to the bottom of the pack. They got to start being careful now. They're dropping a lot of points. You drop points to a lonely Salernitana, not too good, right? But we know that we can go a couple of weeks ahead, and they're going to give the Fiorentinas, the Lazios, the Romas a hard time. So.
Oh, thank you, Frank. I didn't know. Fubo TV also has Hockey Night in Canada on Saturdays too, so that's great to know. Genoa beating Verona at home 1-0. The next score we don't need to talk about. Steve, Juventus, again, getting it done 2-1 at home against Cagliari. Cagliari tried to make it into a game in the second half, but Steve, Juventus. I said it at the beginning of the season. I'm the one. I was more weary about them because their big conference league penalty that they don't get to play in the conference league, playing once a week. Allegri, I know those guys from Lyoto Goal making that video, just saying perché giocare brutto e fare 3 punti è la cosa la più bella del mondo. They get it done, Steve.
They get it done, and their fans don't have to say Allegri out anymore. That's on the back burner for the time being. I don't know. I watched Juventus. I saw this game. I found that
it wasn't a bad game from them. It wasn't ugly. It wasn't an Allegri ball.
It wasn't ugly. I think just Cagliari was uglier than Juventus for once. And it had Juventus a little bit more on the forefront in terms of attacking play. They did create some chances. Did get some goals, some lucky goals. I think the Rugani goal was very fortunate. I think I don't even know if he knew that he had a touch on it until he chested it in like Fabio from the telenovelas. But again, ugly wins, 3 points there. They're not having the same conversations that Milan's fans are having around the dinner table on a Saturday. And that's unfortunate, right? Because they score 2 goals and they come out with a win. Sometimes they only score 1 goal and come out with a win. We've been scoring, 2 goals against Lecce, 2 goals against Naples, and we have only 2 points to talk about.
And Steve, let's be honest. If Milan was winning these games the way they are, we'd be laughing. People would be making fun of us.
I would absolutely care less how Milan won these games.
Monza, Torino, 1-1 tie for closing out on Saturday. And then we begin, Steve, on Sunday, the 6 a.m. game, which I was up for this one. And I was not expecting Napoli. And what do you call him? The engineer, the architect?
Rudy Garcia, the engineer architect. He's part of the Fanta family. He fits right in with those folks.
Can you explain this, Steve?
I have no idea what's wrong with Naples. Napoli at home to Empoli. I remember watching Empoli against Fiorentina, and they had some energy.
Yeah.
They did create some chances, and ended up scoring and totally outplayed Fiorentina. I just don't think they outplayed Napoli. I just think they got lucky. And it's just Napoli's bad luck. Just Napoli can't score. Missing Osimhen. And, en masse bring up probably the no Osimhen, no party.
Unless they're playing Milan.
Yeah, unless they're playing Milan, where Raspadori has a magical free kick. Politano decides to channel his inner Cafu. And that's how we get with a tie. And Empoli beats Naples. But that's the Serie A, guys. This is what we're going to see.
You know what, Steve? I just have a problem within 7 to 8 games last year, Serie A, the worst Scudetto defense of any team in 70, 80 years, Milan. I think they're not talking about that.
Yeah, now that's a great point. There's no talk about how bad Napoli's defending the Scudetto and how worse it could get. Now, I know they sacked Garcia. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's Gonzo, right?
No, I think they're talking to Tudor.
Oh, talking yet. He's not Gonzo. L'architetto non è.
But Steve, I know that you liked the article that I sent you this morning. That other than Tudor, who was in talks? Maybe Steve. I know that he was one of your favorites to talk about.
The water bottle king, Mr. Check your watch, Walter Mazzarri di ritorno. He's like the Undertaker. He just never dies. This guy.
Napoli Tudor, affare quasi fatto, contratto di un anno, si attende solo la fumata bianca. This is exactly from Sports Media Set right now. So we shall see what goes on. So Garcia said flew back to France today. I definitely believe that one. Fiorentina Bologna, entertaining game, Steve. Bologna is there, man. They're fighting their way, and they're still keeping up the top 10. But Fiorentina deservedly winning this game.
Yes, deservedly winning this game, and it's nice. We're going straight into the international break, and then we catch Fiorentina on the backside of the international break. So let's see which Milan shows up. Minus all our players will be suspended or probably injured against Fiorentina. That's flying high. So great stuff.
Most probably. It's a long season. It's definitely a long season. Udinese Atalanta 1-1. Udinese leading, Steve. I thought they were going to come up with another win, but no. Only when they play Milan did they come out very strong. But Atalanta,
that Milan didn't do
1-1.
themselves any favors, and
That's
Atalanta got themselves back in the game. That's okay.
1-1 on there, and then Steve, the snooze fest. I don't.
Oh my God!
I don't understand why I stayed up.
I have
Steve,
waited.
Strasbourg Steve. I don't even know how he stayed awake for this game, Steve.
I don't know.
It was
no. There's a problem. This
was a snooze fest, Steve.
Oh yeah. This is a problem because at the same time as this game, we have the horseshoe that is the EPL. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The horseshoe that is the EPL, actually the scheduling maker for Serie A. I would honestly suggest that they start looking and paying attention to the EPL schedule before they schedule stuff.
This was City Chelsea at this time, no?
Exactly.
I believe.
Which ended up 4-4. Okay? And I watched Lazio Roma.
So did I.
For this shit. For this derby di capitale, derby del sangue. Every year I hear the same goddamn shit between two teams that played like pussies. No
Mourinho taking stabs at the beginning of
my God, this is disgusting. They've made these two teams, the Lazio team and the Roma team, have been the disgrace of the Derby della Capitale.
It's been a while. It wasn't an entertaining one.
This was anti-soccer, absolutely terrible.
Yeah, Guendouzi was his man of the match, and yes, Luis Alberto should have scored on that one. But Steve, there's no salvaging in this game; just a complete snooze fest. And
again, terrible for Serie A because you need to market games like this. You need to be able to say, "Hey, tune in and watch games like this."
True, very true.
I'm sorry to Fubu and everybody who had to air this game for how boring it was. This is not Derby della Capitale material. And people can't just say, "Oh, you're shitting on the Derby della Capitale." You're not happy with how the Derby, because of Lazio. You hate Lazio. You hate Roma. No, absolutely not, guys. I'm mad.
I was looking forward to this.
I was looking forward to it, and I look forward to it. But I was mad because the football was shit. It was terrible, and it's not good. It's not good because you need to market these games. And I'm not saying, okay, City and Chelsea was fantastic football just because it ended up 4-4. But the optics of it to catch non-traditional football fans are going to really, really love the 4-4, and they're going to trash the 0-0. Now, am I saying to sacrifice, good football for, these crazy scorelines? Absolutely not.
No.
But can we see some animosity and some tackling in this thing besides the fans killing themselves? Come on, let's go.
And Inter Frosinone, I don't care. Some people were saying it wasn't really a penalty that Di Marco was trying. Guys, it's Frosinone. Inter's the best team in Serie A. You can call it as you see it. Frosinone was not going to beat Inter at home. Steve, again, Inter doing what they're doing. Is Inter going to pull a Napoli like last year, not go through a dip? I don't think so. I think they will go through a dip at some point. But what do you think about the Inter's performance against Frosinone?
Just clinical. They score when they have to score. Again,
a great goal, by the way, Di Marco. Yeah. I don't think he was trying to cross, Steve. I think he saw the goal.
I think he wanted to shoot. I'm going to give him that he wanted to shoot, and I'll give him the great goal. And it's not the first time that he's hit from that range and scored. For the penalty, again, that's on VAR and the referees to fix that up and clean that stuff up. If we were Milan and we would have gotten that in the 93rd minute against Lecce, I would have absolutely taken it and rode away in the sunset with 3 points. But we did not. We gave up a 2-goal lead, and we find ourselves miraculously in third because Napoli said, "Hold my beer," and lost to Empoli.
Looking at this table right now, Give me your most shocking position right now after 12 weeks. Is it not easy to say Lazio 14 points away from first place? That's mine.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with that one. Do you see anything for you shocking or because shocking and surprise, two different things. Something shocking to you.
I'm shocked that Fiorentina is in sixth place with 20 points. That's for sure. 3 points away from third place.
That's a good one as well. Let us know in the comments. Even Sassuolo only, 7 points behind last place Salernitana. But looks like this might be, even Udinese, Steve, that's a shocking one. Udinese, you never expect. It's been years that, they're never top four, don't get me wrong, but they're never in this kind of
They're
position.
in the second column usually.
Exactly. But guys, let us remind, like Colin likes to say in the group chat, it's week 12. There's still 26 games to be played, and who knows that maybe, our own Peter, number one, Ciao Presidente in the Serie A fantasy,
By
number
a
one.
wide margin, Peter? It's a fantastic.
Very good for him.
928.
So we have Zaid, that's part of the Patreon as well. Tony at 924, Chicken Car 923. Guys, this is your top 10, and just like the tables in Serie A, Steve, are gonna move right in the next 26 weeks. Same thing will happen on those ones there. So and that let's say before I get yelled again. And that Serie A recap was brought to you by Fubo, not Fubu, Fubo.tv, your home for all things Serie A in Canada. Steve, I wanted to ask you...
Can I do a shout out to myself?
Of course you can. When's the election going on there?
No, that's not time for that. It's Fanta Calcio time with Jan and the boys.
Talk to me about your Fanta Calcio.
I am very happy to say that this is the highest I've been in Fanta Calcio at this point in the season. Let me tell you, that's how bad I am at Fanta Calcio. I am now sitting tied for fourth place in Fanta Calcio out of 14 players, guys.
Don't you
I
mind?
am proud of myself. And if you see my team is garbage. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Who brought in the points for you this week, Steve?
Oh, Wallace from Udine. We finally scored a goal. I've only started him 10 times in a row, and he finally scored a goal. And the other guy, the guy who was going to Inter, that I can't pronounce his name, he had an assist. That is bing, bang, boom. Fantastic stuff.
Keep it up there, Steve. Keep it up.
And Hakan with the penalty shot. That helped too.
Ryan Percy on Patreon goes, hey guys, this is getting ridiculous now. I've started having a laugh at these games because taking them too seriously hurts and is frankly embarrassing. At this rate, I don't think Pioli will make it through the January window. Also, I know that we all didn't want to discuss sacking Pioli without a decent replacement. However, with Napoli grabbing Tudor, are you a little pissed off we didn't go for that option? I think we should have tried it at least until the end of the season and then reassessed in the summer. You know what, Ryan? I don't think so, because
I don't want Juventini at my team. I don't want Juventini at my team.
I think getting a guy like Tudor, getting a guy like Abate, and there was a great discussion, a great post that Colin shared, and I followed the page on Facebook. It's said, what am I going to do? Change $1 for quarters? Change? I don't think Tudor was going. I think it was just going to be like, if you got to change him. I think, seriously, Steve, if he really, really, really had lost the locker room, I don't think Pioli would be in position right now, and they would have went for a Band-Aid solution. That's my personal opinion. There's a lot of decisions that he's made that don't make sense. There's been very rarely, Steve, was it Pochettino that went through like a really bad losing streak, I think, with Tottenham?
He just went through another one with Chelsea.
But sometimes you just gotta. No, I think it was not it was Pochettino. I'm getting confused. It was a hockey team that went like through a 9-game losing streak, and they finally the Vancouver Canucks coach, and they finally ended up winning that coach winning the Stanley Cup. It's just, according to you, when is? If it does have to happen.
I don't know if the Vancouver Canucks ever won the Stanley
He
Cup.
was the coach of the Canucks.
Let's carry on. Let's stay away from hockey, okay?
Yeah, because hockey's not for me. Steve, what is your?
No, but I understand what you're saying. Like,
what is
sometimes
your?
you need to. Sometimes you need to. You need to see how good this coach is when you're losing, right? Because when you're losing and you're not getting results, how good is this coach to get you out of that negative streak and into a positive streak? I'm curious to see that. I follow, and you know that I love Pierre Maguire, and he's always said that. He's always said it's easy to coach when your team is winning. It's really hard to coach when your team is losing.
Let me ask you this: what is your? That's enough now. What is your cutoff to get $1 for 4 quarters kind of coach? Where, like, to you, there's no other choice.
Well, I think if it's twofold, right?
Let's say getting out of the Champions League
losing
group.
losing against Fiorentina, and and dipping out of the Champions League. If he doesn't get sacked, then we're living with. Then I don't want to hear Pioli, Pioli for the rest of the year, because we're gonna see in the summer, which may or may not be a good move. But that would be my tipping point for me at this point. Is why are we losing to the Fiorentina? And people are gonna say, Leao injured. It's not something that he could have predicted. But
True.
we've had Leao, in and out of games. He played his best against PSG all year.
You got Fiorentina, Steve, on the 25th. 3 days later, Dortmund, Frosinone, Atalanta, Newcastle, Monza, Salernitana, Sassuolo. I'm sorry, if you even want to discuss some sort of Seconda Stella, you need to win every single one of those games.
Oh yeah, they're in that mode now, and it's not only that, not only Seconda Stella. You want to solidify top 4, because Seconda Stella is something that we want to stop Inter from getting, and possibly for us to get it. But we need to continuously make Champions League, and the top 4. We just said it. Fiorentina 3 points behind us, guys. 3 points behind us.
The only saving point in this is we're going to be playing at home. I know we didn't do very well against Udinese, but 2 weeks off, coming back, Curva Sud is going to be there. Hopefully everything goes well. But guys, it is 2 weeks off. We will be back possibly on the following Monday after the Fiorentina game. Stay tuned for a coast-to-coast special. We're talking about maybe some Azzuris. And, Gio likes to talk about the Primavera. Thank you to Gio and Fabio for all that content. And stay tuned for some news coming up. We will not discuss. We're keeping it under wraps. Not even Presidente knows, but just stay tuned, guys. Steve, it's been a while. Let's finish off with a good laugh. And Jan has got us a couple of them. What do you think he has in store for us for Busted Calcio X? Let's have a look. Behind the door, numero uno. Reece James, on pure ability, is probably the best right back of all time. Not gonna lie, no one has ever been this complete before. 443,000 views at Abbezzino. Steve, I know I'm not like you. Who the fuck is Reece James?
So he plays for Chelsea. And
Gotcha.
He's not the best right back of all time. He's
Of all time.
probably not the best right back in England. He might not even be the best right back at Chelsea.
Okay, thank you.
This is busted on top of busted. I hope it's clickbait. Seems like it. 443,000 people saw this fucking post. Holy shit, we're dead. As a society, we're dead.
This guy is like, he's a Spurs man. He's liking.
Yes, sir.
443,000. Jesus Christ. Next, slide number 2.
Reese's Pieces.
At average Chiesa, in the last 3 seasons, 3 different teams have won the Scudetto. All of them have failed to retain it after they have won it. Yet you will see people disregard and play down Juve's 9 Scudetti in a row. Ridiculous accomplishment that will never be repeated again. Average Chiesa. I don't think he paid attention to the rest of the Serie A that was playing in those years, Steve, that Juventus had won the Scudetto by January. So this guy, yes, you know what? An accomplishment that will never be repeated again? Probably. But he's just trying to say, like, look at our accomplishments in those 9 years. Semi busted on this one.
Yeah, semi-busted. It's just I can't continue. It's not their fault, and it's not their fault because the Juventini are just not that intelligent. And again, it's really just it's a byproduct of genetics. It's a byproduct of just being a plastic fan. All that plastic around you is just constant, right? When you're Juventus and you don't even the own city that you play in doesn't acknowledge you. You have to reach for things like this, right? So it's easy to win something when everybody's down. When you knock, and you kick the dog when he's down. And that's what they did. And good on them. They'll have this. For me, it was honestly 10 years of suffering because of how bad Serie A was.
Fuck, was it bad?
They could rejoice in that, but Serie A was terrible. And it's starting to get better. Like Inter's making a move, Milan's making a move, Napoli. Besides that, these are busted tweets because people rejoice in things like this, right?
Yeah.
And don't take into consideration how bad the league was. And again, it's to their doing. And then when they're going to be called out for something like tax fraud or doing something wrong, they will cry. And they will say, it's always Juve. They're always blaming Juve. Then this and that. And blah, 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 blah. And the baby cries. And we have to play it. This is a Juventine. It's constant. It's always crying.
They won when our lead striker was Jeremy Menez. Let's leave it at that. The third one, I think that's the last one, at Dominic DeFazio. Warge is the most underrated keeper in the... Who the fuck is Warge, Steve?
It's Szczesny.
His name is Szczesny, not Warge. That's his nickname.
Yeah, but the Juventine, they love giving nicknames, right?
Ah, okay.
They love giving nicknames.
So he's the most underrated keeper in the world.
The Juventine always want to throw their goaler under a bus when they lose, but then when they're winning, he's the most underrated. He's the most underrated. You can't stop with that. Look, I think he's a shot stopper, underrated. I just think he's past his prime. This has nothing to do with overrated or underrated. I think just Juve haven't moved on from Szczesny, and some Juventini have gone on, and if they talk within their own little circle, I've honestly said that they think that Perin should be the first choice keeper ahead of Szczesny.
So good. So Steve, we're gonna have to go with this one here. Reece James is the best right back of all time. All time, Steve.
Yes. And we'll do it for the Tottenham fan. We're gonna shit on the Chelsea fan. And guys, please spread this to the Tottenham community, because if this guy said this to 443,000 people and no one told him he's crazy, we have a serious problem in society. I have a right back in my U10 soccer that's better than Reece James.
Frank Zinkargan is having a hard on for the Marco goal, calling the best volley of all time. And to my knowledge, Steve, that is not a volley. And for me, volley-wise, you got to go with Steve, Savicevic or Van Basten? Volley.
There's tons of volleys ahead of DiMarcos. Even Zidane in the Champions.
But that's not a volley, Steve. It's a shot. A volley is getting across and just hitting it on without a
shot. A shot is a shot.
It's still fantastic.
Yeah, it's still a fantastic goal. So I don't know what we're picking at here, but even in terms of goals, I've seen more.
Thank you, Wojnek. That's what. Okay, Woj.
I've seen better goals than that. I think it was a great goal, but. No, Nick, please. Let's not use Mexes there. Everybody continues to put Mexes out there as one of the best goals. He'll never hit something like that in his life, and it wasn't a friendly.
Philippe Mexes. Oh man, no stress, Mexes. Steve, on that note, we do have Italy playing on Friday, playing for qualifications for the Euros. This is do or die, and then I believe it is on the following Monday against the Ukraine. What are you expecting? Qualifications? Yes, no.
I need Italy in an international tournament. I expect nothing but qualification. If anything less is non-qualification, so then we have a serious problem that we know that the problem exists,
It would hurt.
and now everybody else is going to need to know that the problem exists. Because
it's gonna hurt, Steve. It's gonna hurt.
Yeah, this is going to be terrible. That means we'll not be able to defend the European title that we won in 2020.
And you know what? For some people that haven't realized how much would it hurt, guys, the last time Italy won an elimination game con la Nazionale was the 2006 World Cup final. Guys, that's fucking scary. 2010 didn't make it out of the group stage. 2014 didn't make it out of the group stage. 2018 we missed. 2022, guys, it's fucking scary. In a World Cup, sorry, not in a Euro. In a World Cup, sorry, in the World Cup.
The World Cup. This is to qualify for the Euro and
the Euros, yeah.
Champions. So
it even worse, like you're saying, like, you know, you're European champions and coming back from this World Cup that wouldn't qualify. Guys, just give us something to talk about. Please qualify and give us something to believe in, and we shall see. Maybe these guys like Raspadori, Di Marco, they could bring that fire, Steve, that they play in Serie A and then bring it to La Nazionale. We shall see. We shall see. On that note, Stevie P, anything in closing before we bid adieu to all our fans here?
I want to thank everybody who joined live. I want to thank everybody who watches. And
Steve, the live views go the way the team goes, because when the team goes good, we have 70, 80 live viewers last couple of weeks. Thank you guys for
really appreciate it. And again, just guys, please subscribe, like, comment, put that thumb somewhere, push the thumb. I don't know what you guys call it. But guys, we need your help. You know, share, especially. You know, we're not gonna say on this podcast. I can guarantee you, we will not say Reece James is the best right back of all time. So if that counts for a couple of subscriptions from even our English Premier League fans that are not Chelsea fans, please, guys, smash that subscribe button, like Fabio says, and Cool Dave Fanta said in the chat. Please. You know,
maybe one day we'll get 440,000 views on one of our
videos. Yeah, I think I have to show my nipples again to get that kind of.
In the end, Steve, we're never gonna compromise who we are. We're never gonna change what we bring to the table. And on that note, guys, ovunque e sempre.
Forza Milan.
Ciao.